Welcome back from your part 2 video, or video number 2, and the task that I gave you in filling out the Google form was to identify the criteria that are part of these 3 objectives, and with the goal that we use the objectives to guide the development of our assessments and understanding what are we asking students to do. Okay, and so hopefully you'll start seeing that, and then again, this isn't the only course, but hopefully you'll see it as it follows you through, because assessment is such a huge part of what we are required to do in classrooms today, and I want you to go out with some fundamental knowledge as you go. But that's something that you really want to pay attention to in all of your classes and when you're in classrooms for practicum and student teaching. So with these 3 objectives, I'm hoping what you answered on that form were the following. In objective 1, the criteria would be, as we stated, 5 important and accurate pieces of information related to a war topic. The objective 2, it kind of narrows it down now and says, okay, you have to have 3 pieces of information for sure while researching the topic. Okay, the first one said 5, the second one said 3. So, you can ebb and flow with that. Now you have to decide as a teacher, when you develop the assessment tool, how many do you have to have. Also in this one is, I think, something else that you can assess, and that is point of view. What this is asking is that when they do this digital story, that they have to describe it from someone or an individual's point of view. So you can really take that and use it as an assessment piece. If it's something, again, that it's with Iowa Core, this would probably be more of a literacy type of assessment, but that's fine. You can mix in, your interdisciplinary kinds of things that you'll go over. The third one is kind of interesting. It's one of those objectives that personally I wrote in 2 sentences, but it works, okay? But it's a little bit more about, okay, the students are doing this as a group and those kinds of things. Okay, they're going to work collaboratively, so that's something that I want to assess them on. Okay, and also then they're going to evaluate their contributions and their ability to work with others. So those are things that you can focus on as well. So again, as you think about the objectives, specifically where we're going to look at your expertise here now is within your lesson plan. Make sure that you include criteria in your objective or objectives that then you can build in to whatever type of assessment that you're going to do. Okay, and so how do you do that? Well, there's a variety of ways that you can do it, but I think the one that we'll address now, I am not saying here, it's on a recording, that you have to design a rubric to fit this assessment. You don't have to. You could design a test if you wanted to. You could design some kind of a checklist. You could, it just kind of depends. It's going to depend upon what you're doing in your lesson plan and how you want to assess it. I would like to challenge you to maybe consider doing that rubric, because I think it's good practice, especially in this time of your development and so forth. I think it's a good thing to at least have some experience going into your methodology courses. So what is a rubric? It really is a tool that can be used for assessing some type of complex performance, usually some kind of project driven by the students having to do something. The key to a rubric is you have to do 3 things. You have to define the elements, and you guys, the elements would be like the criteria. Okay, so use your objectives to help you with the element part, the criteria part. It's all done for you. You just have to kind of formulate it in a format that now you want to evaluate. The second thing that you have to do is define the rating scale. The rating scale is just something that, it's numbers 1 to 5. It's maybe descriptions, outstanding, satisfactory, those kinds of things. You define the rating scale and how you're going to do it. Sometimes the district helps you with that, because a lot of districts have specific scales that they want teachers to use all the time. That's something else that you might want to look for as you enter classrooms and see how they're doing that. The tough thing is number 3, and that is defining the meanings of each scale items and how you work through that. So these are the things that you have to put together visually on a rubric. And you guys, you've seen rubrics now from us, and we've had different levels. Some have been more descriptive than others. Some are a little bit more like checklists, but for the most part, we do design rubrics for a lot of our projects. So usually the elements, the criteria, are formatted on the left. And so what I've done here is I've pulled 3 criteria that I would design a rubric around now for this assignment. Point of view, accurate information included, and working collaboratively. And I've said that my rating scale here is excellent, satisfactory, or needs improvement. I'm not even going to give them points. I just want, this, when I talk to parents and things, these are things that I can talk to them about, and then I can rate them. The difficulty here is the meanings of each scale item. Those have not been filled in, and so what does that look like? If I was actually doing this, this is kind of what it would look like. I'm going to say it's a 5th grade history literacy lesson. And here are my criteria, here's my scale, and then notice how what you have to do to get excellent, what do I have to do? Well, I've decided that to get excellent, I have to cover topics in depth with details and includes more than 3 essential and accurate items of information. So there, more than 3. If they get 3, if all they do is the bare minimum there, or kind of, then they get satisfactory. It's still okay. They've done what I've asked, but it's not excellent. It's not going to 12. It's not going that extra mile. Needs improvement is then less than what I've said. Okay? And then I'll just let you could stop the video here and just kind of read these separately, but you can see how, what does it take to be excellent? What does it take to be satisfactory? And what if they aren't putting forth the effort that needs to be? And so you have to define these scales very, very carefully. Now, I did make a note on here too, other areas of possible assessment. There's other things in here that you could focus on. Research, you can still do writing style, organization, conventions, spelling, we do that to you. Technology, maybe you want to do more with the images, the soundtrack, the voice, the effects. You can build those in, and you could have also built those into your objectives. The one thing that, just be careful, don't make your objectives about the technology. Okay, make it about the content that they're going to learn, and then you can build the technology in there. So I can add more criteria here, but I at least have addressed my objectives, okay? And I think that's the goal that you want to kind of work on. So as we progress, how does this work? Okay, what I have here are 4 assessment tools that I would like you to kind of look at. Rubistar, PBL Checklist, iRubric, and Rubrics for Teachers. You guys, I have a folder in this flipped lecture that the links to these are in, so you can go after this and just explore them on your own. I'm not going to spend a lot of time in them, but just kind of take you through them fairly quickly. So let me go to that here, and let's see, the first one, okay, I'll just start here. I'll just start with iRubric. iRubric, you guys, this is one that just has thousands of rubrics in them. I don't use this one a lot, but a lot of teachers do. Okay, so this may be a place where you search for examples. You can get an account and start building your own. That's what you can decide. If I go to search here, notice I just searched one for habitats because we were talking about habitats, and I came up with 1,500 rubrics. So again, look at K5, K5, K5. A lot of them are for the K5 content, which makes sense, but tools like this can give you ideas on the scales. What should I be assessing? You know, the definitions of the scales, the meanings. So let it help you. Another one is rubrics for teachers. Kind of the same idea. You guys, here's some featured sites. Again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time. Other rubric generators, ready-made rubrics, you can go to that and have a look at it. Again, it's going to forward you to, you know, here's already rubrics made for these reasons. Okay, again, I think it's just a really good resource for you. This one, project-based learning checklist, I really like this one, but it's a little bit different. For this one, I'm just going to go to 2-4 writing just to show you. You do have to usually provide a name, title. I'll just say digital story. Sorry. Okay, and then notice, okay, these are the things that it's very language oriented. So I'm going to open it up, and what comes up is, okay, my students use proper nouns, capitalize proper nouns, important words in the title, first word of the sentence, first word in, I don't need that yet, okay? And add to the list. I'll do one more. Let's do conventions. Open that up, come over here, handwriting is legible, no typos, begin in different ways. Each paragraph has a main idea. I use standard graph. Add to the list. Okay, now you can't see this, but I'm clicking a create printable list. Check here to do it, and here's my task. Here's my assessment right here. Okay, so you guys, there's tools like this all over, but these are ones that I really like. The last one that I kind of want to talk to you about is Rubistar. Rubistar is very, very powerful because you can create it's great for novices like ourselves that want to go out and make something. So I'm going to start one here. There's one actually for digital storytelling up in multimedia. So again, I'll give them my name. This is just practice. And the zip code, they want that just so that they know kind of where you're at. It's just temporary. But what it does for me is it has things already done. It has things. I can make a new category name. I can change this if I want to. Here, I can change this to excellent. I can have a number associated with very good. You know, however I want to do it, but notice that it already puts in some things for me, and then I can also add to it as well and type in more, you know, definition to that scale if I want to. And again, you can just keep going. I would probably, you know, I might do something on images or something. But what's cool about this one is if you can kind of find one that they've done before, they can kind of help you with it. But otherwise, it just comes up blank and then you can fill it in. But you have resources to help you with this. When you're done, you just go back and submit it. And then notice here's your rubric. Now, I didn't do a very good job on this one because I had to do it quickly. Notice you can print or download the rubric at that point and then keep it for your files. Okay, so those are some ideas of what to do and how, assessment tools that you have. The last thing that I want you to do is go to one more very short video in which I will introduce the assignment that I want